Hello, everyone. This is Troy Harper here at Harper Cigar Lounge. I hope you all are having a great day so far. Thank you for being here. Couldn't wait to get back down here again this week with you. Um, I hope you'll enjoy today's show. I'm going to be discussing all the best of hard rock, heavy metal bands that have blues influences throughout their music. And I think you're going to really enjoy the groups that I discussed today. Well, I'm glad you could be here today. I hope you've got a great smoke and a great drink with you. I hope you can kick back and relax. What's been going on with all of you today? I wasn't sure if this show was going to happen today. I've had a lot of things going on today, but I've been managing to, I've managed to get this in my schedule today anyway. So I'm glad I could be here with you guys, and hope you guys will enjoy yourself today. Um, but anyway, so I've got some heavy metal news, some heavy metal birthdays to discuss. And Today I'm going to be smoking this really beautiful stick. It's the Macanudo Inspirado Black Toro. It's size 5.5 by 54. The wrapper's Connecticut broadleaf. The binder's Ecuadorian Sumatra. Filler's Nicaraguan, and it's from Nicaragua. So shape again is a Toro, 5.5 by 54. I'll get a little bit of a close up on it there. Just a really beautiful, dark, oily Maduro wrapper. Not too veiny. It feels really good in my hands. But anyway, just a beautiful stick. Try to get all angles of it here going for you. But just a really beautiful stick. And it smells really good. Some cinnamon and chocolate hints of smells throughout it that I'm getting right now. So maybe some honey as well in the sense I'm getting off of this wrapper. So anyway, but I cannot wait to get into this. I bet this is going to be a great cigar today. I've never had one. I've had this in my humidor for about 6 months now. So anyway, so I'm anxious to smoke this today. If you've had this cigar, make sure you let me know in the comments how it was for you, what your experience was with it. But I'm really excited to smoke this. I've really kind of started liking Macanudos, and so I cannot wait to dive into this with you guys. Some of the taste notes that I read about, and I got my information off of Cigars Daily for this cigar. I'm trying to remember how much I paid for this. I think I paid probably, I want to say I paid about $9.99 or $10.99 for this. And I bought this at a smoker friendly over in Sidney, Nebraska. Here a little, like I said, about 6 months ago. So, but anyway, the taste notes that I read about is coffee bean, earth, sweet wood, leather, white pepper, black licorice, espresso, dark chocolate, and candied fruit. So those are all the different taste notes that I read about that is throughout this cigar. So we'll see what it does today. We'll see if I get those taste notes. We'll see what experiences I get. I will let you know where I think it should be for ratings, due to, based on my experiences with this cigar today. So anyway, we'll get into that. Here, let me moisten the cap here. Get a taste for the wrapper a little bit. Surprisingly, I'm not really getting a lot of taste off the wrapper. Maybe just some mild milk chocolate kind of flavor to it, but not much of anything for the flavor of the wrapper. Let me cut this, and I'm using my Zyfe V-cut and lighter combo with a cigar rest on the back there. My wife picked this up for me on Amazon. It's been a really great lighter cutter so far. I've had it for about 4 or 5 months now, I think, and it's been really holding up well. Been doing very well. So I do recommend this. I think my wife paid about $45, I believe, for this on Amazon. So let me get this cut, and then we'll get into the toasting and the lighting here. Okay, so there's my cut that I did. Did a V cut on it. Right there. Okay, so I'll go ahead and start toasting this now. Anyway, what have you guys been up to? Are you getting all your Christmas shopping done? Are you ready for Christmas? I have not been ready for Christmas, as I usually am not from year to year due to my work. But I've managed to finally get everything done. I just can't believe Christmas is in just a couple days or so. And I just can't believe this year is almost over. It's just, this year has flown by. Each year gets, just seems like it comes and goes faster and faster each year. So, but anyway, when I'm toasting this, I'm trying to not scorch the tobacco too much. I just want to get it warmed up and get everything kind of toasted evenly. So when I go to do my regular light on this, it will burn evenly. That's what I hope for anyway. I try not to rush this process by any means. I just, I want to make sure I get the best experience I can out of this. Out of each cigar, I just want the best experience, and it all starts with how you light it. And really starts with how you light it. If you get it burned evenly or toasted evenly, it'll do pretty well for you. So you want to definitely take your time. I think I've got this lit pretty well, or toasted pretty well. I'll go ahead and go into my lighting process here. Well, so far, right after lighting this and taking my first puff, getting a lot of, oh gosh, I'd probably say a lot of some pepper, definitely. And it's got a little bit of a tight draw to it. I'm going to go ahead and cut this. I'm going to give this one more cut. I'm going to go the opposite way this time. Try to open this up a little more. See what that does. So now I've done a cross cut, I guess is what you would call it. And that did open it up a little more to where it's a little bit of a looser draw now. There was a little tight of a draw there, so definitely better now. But getting some chocolate, getting some pepper, getting some natural sweetness out of it, definitely. And in the taste notes that I got off the internet on Cigars Daily, it said something about sweet wood. So I'm just wondering if that's what it is that they're talking about. That's a different taste note that I haven't heard of yet, is sweet wood. I haven't heard of that one yet. But I guess they're kind of considering it kind of a cedar, maybe a cedar taste. That's kind of a sweet cedar taste, I guess. So anyway, it's starting to build up some good ashes, burning evenly overall here. So anyway, but just a beautiful stick so far. Pretty good tasting stick, guys, so far. So good. We'll see what it continues to do here. I'm going to go ahead and I don't have any new members to mention today. My list didn't come through on my group page for Harper Cigar Lounge, so I don't know what the members' names are that we've got now, but it shows I got 17 new members here, or that we've all got 17 new members. You're all a part of this. So we got 17 new members now. Last Sunday when I did this podcast, we had 1,215 members. Now we have 1,232 members. So again, that's 17 new members. So thank you guys for joining. I appreciate you. Thank you all of you that have been here for a while. I appreciate you guys too. And you guys are all the greatest, and I appreciate you guys, and God bless you guys, and thank you for being a part of this. I appreciate you guys very much, and you guys are always in my thoughts and prayers. But stay in touch with me when you can, guys. Anyway, so, but yeah, leave me some comments from today's show. Let me know what you're smoking, drinking. Let me know what's been going on with you guys, and if you have had the cigar, let me know what your experience has been with it. Let me know what you thought how it was for you, the taste notes you got out of it, how it held up for you, whatever you can think of, let me know. So let's get into some heavy metal birthdays. Yesterday was Peter Criss's birthday from, he used to be the drummer for Kiss. He was the drummer lead, and he did vocals for Kiss, some lead vocals for Kiss, and some backing vocals for Kiss. He was born on December 20th of 1945. He's the age of 78 now. Chris Robinson, lead singer of the Black Crowes. He was born on December 20th, 1966 as well. He's at the age of 57 now. Tomorrow, it'll be Rick Nelson's birthday. He's guitars and vocals for Cheap Trick. More backing vocals than lead vocals. And then, of course, guitars, like I said. And he was born on December 22nd of 1948. He's at the age of 75. Dave Murray, guitars with Iron Maiden. He was born on December 23rd, 1956. He's at the age of 67 now. Lemmy Kilmister, bass and vocals for the British metal band Motorhead. He was born on December 24th of 1945. He passed away on December 28th of 2015. He would be 78 right now if he was alive. And he passed away from congestive heart failure. So rest in peace, Lemmy. We miss you, and we love you, and we appreciate everything you left behind for us to enjoy. And we just appreciate you for all your talents. So you're definitely missed in my book, and I'm sure I can speak for many people about that as well. So Lars Ulrich, drummer of Metallica. He was born December 26th of 1963. He's at the age of 60 now. Mick Jones, guitars, vocals for Foreigner. Born on December 27th of 1944. He's at the age of 69 now. And Tom Hamilton, bass guitars for Aerosmith. He was born on December 21st. He was born on December 31st, 1951. He's at the age of 72. And then Scott Ian, guitars and vocals for Anthrax. He was born on December 31st as well of 1963. He's at the age of 60. And anyway, so those are your birthdays. I don't know if you guys watched last Sunday. Joey Belladonna, he sang at the Buffalo Bills Dallas Cowboys game. He sang the national anthem. If you haven't seen that, look it up on YouTube. I'm sure it's on there. But he just sounded spectacular. Did such a great job with the national anthem. So Joey Belladonna, great job with that national anthem you did for that game. You were outstanding. So anyway, again, if you guys haven't seen that, it's probably up on YouTube. Maybe catch that and check it out. So anyway, Joey Belladonna, great guy, great singer. And I can't remember his side band, what they're called, but he's got a side band where it's a tribute to Journey. And I've listened to some of that stuff on YouTube, and he just sounds amazing. I'll just say that. So anyway, I don't have much for heavy metal news today. There are some things going on out there, but I didn't think it was real important stuff. I've got a few things to discuss, but I get a lot of my information for all the latest heavy metal news on blabbermouth.net. So definitely check that out if you're wanting to see what else is in the news out there for hard rock and heavy metal. Um, but anyway, I'll share a few things with you that I thought were the most important anyway. Anyway, this cigar's still holding up well, putting off a lot of smoke, and it's still burning pretty evenly, as you can see, fairly even. Just some slight unevenness, but not much. Um, not getting much of a not getting much different taste notes yet out of this. I'm still getting some of the pepper. Um, getting well, I'm getting that sweet wood that they're talking about. I think is what it is. It's just some natural sweetness I'm getting. And it could be even maybe some of the candied fruit that they've discussed on the taste notes here. But definitely getting some pepper and some milk chocolate. And boy, this thing is smoking really good. Tastes great, holding up well. A lot of great smoke. The aromas are kind of getting some sweet aromas in the air from this. So anyway, I just dropped my ash, but that's okay. Uh, um, very happy with the cigar so far. Very happy. So um, this could go down as the best cigar I've done or I've smoked on these podcasts so far, maybe. But just tasting really good. Great construction. If this keeps going the way it is, I'm probably going to rate this a 95. So we'll see. It did have a little bit of a tight draw, so I had to do a cross cut with my V cut, my V cutter. But other than that, I'm not having any complaints yet. So anyway, well, so first of my heavy metal news. If you go to the Riff Raff YouTube channel for AC/DC, a multi-camera fan filmed video of the Power Trip show from October 7th has been uploaded, and it's this show was the first show they had done in 7 years with AC/DC, and this performance also marked the first show they've done with "If You Want Blood, You've Got It" to open up the show, and this show also was the first to feature from the Power Up album that just came out back in let's see here, that was in 2000. Let's see here, that was, hold on a second, that was in 2020. Their recent Power Up album that came out in 2020. It featured the songs Shot in the Dark and Demon Fire from that album. They had played that live for the first time at the Power Trip festival over in Indio, California. And that was at the, let's see here, trying to get the name of the venue here. Let's see here. Well, I can't remember. Oh, the Empire Polo Club. The Empire Polo Club is where that took place in Indio, California on October 7th. So anyway, but it was a really good show. I watched it. They had 24 songs for that show, and they really did well for not playing for quite a while. 7 years, like I said, it had been 7 years since they had played. So they did very well. You can definitely tell with the age, there are some things that they weren't doing as well with. Angus Young didn't move around as fast on the stage, and some of the way he played, it was really, he played very well, but it was just not as clean as it normally was in the past, I didn't think. But he still sounded good. Angus Young still sounded good when he played guitar, but there were just, the way he played, you could tell his age is kind of getting to him a little bit. But overall, the guys did great. It was a great show. They had to take a minute in between each song, was one thing I noticed. It almost seemed like they had to take a break in between each song, kind of for a minute, before they got the next song going. So anyway, not sure why that was. I don't know if it was due to just them needing to rest a little bit more in between, since they hadn't played for a while, or due to their age as well. So, but anyway, check that concert out on YouTube. It is a very good show, so check that out. Definitely check that out. So, and again, that show was on October. Let's see here. Show was on October 7th of this year in Indio, California, at the Empire Polo Club. 24 song set. And it was very good. It really was a good show. So don't miss out on that. Check that out. And since I'm talking about AC/DC, wanted to show you this right here. I got to see him back in 1988 on the Blow Up Your Video tour. White Lion opened up for him. Great guys. I got to go backstage with them. And so there's my backstage pass. And actually, Malcolm Young was not with them during this tour. Stevie Young was, which Stevie Young's been playing with them for a while now. So, yeah, so see if I can see Stevie Young's autograph. Yeah, so right there is Stevie Young's autograph right there. And anyway, but just a great bunch of guys at the time, and I got to hang out with them and meet them. Me and a buddy of mine and the two girls we were with that day, we took their bus driver to the post office to mail off some stuff he needed to mail off, and he asked us for a ride. Told us he would give us backstage passes if we did that for him. So we did, and sure enough, we were given backstage passes and got to hang out with the band back there. And there's my tickets. It's in pretty bad shape, but it's from the Casper Event Center back in Casper, Wyoming. And then, of course, like I said, there's White Lion that opened up for him at the time that we got to meet as well. So anyway, I'm not sure whose guitar pick that was, but it came from White Lion that I got from when they tossed down to the audience. I was right in the front. Me and everyone I was with, we were right in the front. So pretty close to the stage, and it was a great show at the time. And then this was a cover off of an old cassette I had of them at the time. So I kind of used that as a background picture for this, just to make it a little more interesting, I guess. But anyway, but everyone was just really great, really nice. It was an honor to meet Angus Young at the time and get to meet him and well, I wish I could have met Malcolm, but I got to meet Stevie Young, their oldest brother, that has been with them now for a little while again. He's been with them since Malcolm passed away. So anyway, but it was a great time. It was a great time, and getting to be around those guys. And I really hope I can see him again sometime soon and be with him. That'd be just really good, really great. So anyway, and then Lars Ulrich's father just passed away. Torben Ulrich is his name. And he was a famous tennis player and everything. I guess he did some paintings and different stuff like that as well. So, but I guess he was just a very talented guy, mainly with tennis. So he was never upset that Lars never became a tennis player. Definitely, Lars was around tennis a lot until he started getting into music. So, but anyway, his dad was at the age of 95 when he passed away. So. And that just happened recently, so I don't think I got a date of what day he exactly passed away, but it was either today or yesterday or so. So anyway, Lars, I'm sorry for your father passing away. So our hearts and our prayers are with you. And anyway, so next thing, Motley Crue has canceled their Crue Year's Eve show on December 31st. It was supposed to be at the Acrisure Arena in Palm Springs, California, but due to some issues beyond their control, which wasn't mentioned what it was exactly, they're not able to do that show. So anyway, if you guys have gotten tickets for that show, I'm pretty sure you'll get reimbursed for that, I would imagine. So anyway, but that's all I got for heavy metal news today. Really don't have any more real important news to discuss today. Some other news I was going to bring up, though. So last week I had smoked the Chasing the Dragon Midnight Oil cigar that came from the Deadwood Tobacco Company. I had brought up that I hadn't seen any out for sale for quite a while. And the reason why I found out why they've been so hard to get a hold of is because they have been bought out by Asylum cigars. So there will still be the Zero, the Anti, and the Midnight Oil that I mentioned. But it's going to be under Asylum now, Asylum cigars. And I guess they're supposed to be starting to bring those out around January. But there's been a big lawsuit from Jura State Cigars. They're going after the Deadwood Tobacco Company. I guess, from what I understand, the Deadwood Tobacco Company didn't have permission from Jura State to put the Deadwood Tobacco Company on those on the labels of those cigars, so they've been battling some court issues. I'm not sure what the outcome is yet on that, but I guess, like I said, well, Jura State and Deadwood Tobacco Company have had a partner relationship, because the sweet, like I brought up, the Sweet Janes, Fat Bottom Betties, the Crazy Alice's, the Leather Rose cigars were originally started with the Deadwood Tobacco Company, and then you could only buy them through the Deadwood Tobacco Company at the time. And this was, I don't know, I want to say, 4 years ago maybe or so, maybe longer. But Jura State offered to team up with the Deadwood Tobacco Company so they could distribute those cigars nationally. And so they've had a contract with Jura State. But when they brought out the Chasing the Dragon line, I guess Deadwood Tobacco Company didn't have permission to use the Deadwood Tobacco Company name on those cigars. They didn't have Jura State's permission to do that. And then they've been selling these cigars to different cigar companies. And so I guess Jura State finally got wind of that. And so they ended up putting a lawsuit against the Deadwood Tobacco Company for not having permission to use the Deadwood Tobacco Company name on those Chasing the Dragon cigars. So, but anyway, so I guess the Deadwood Tobacco Company and Jura State have sold that line to Asylum Cigars. So I guess around January, sometime January, they'll start coming out through Asylum. So I guess from what I understand, Asylum's had a part of that Chasing the Dragon line too for some time, somehow. I'm not sure how that is exactly, but I guess they've had a part in this as well for quite a while, from the beginning of these coming out 2 years ago. So anyway, so they've decided to go ahead and let Asylum just have full control of the Chasing the Dragon line. So. And I've been a fan of Asylum cigars for quite a while. There's some that I've smoked that are really good. One that I've definitely had a big experience with about a year ago was the April Fool cigar. It's a 9x90 cigar from Asylum that I smoked, and it took me about, I don't know, I think I was going on about 6 hours with it, and I finally had to give up. I had about that much left of it, and I just couldn't do any more of it. So anyway, but It was a good cigar though. That April Fool cigar is really good, but I almost got through the whole thing, but just couldn't get through the whole thing. Like I said, it was about 6 or 7 hours I had spent with that, and I was just I just couldn't do it anymore after that. So, but it was one of those experiences that was on my bucket list that I wanted to do, and or it was one of those things I just wanted to experience. So I did that. So I don't know if I'll do that again, but I do like Asylum cigars. They've got a lot of great cigars out there that I still want to try. So I'll definitely be wanting to get a hold of the Asylum cigars with the Zero, the Anti, and the Midnight Oil that was originally part of the Chasing the Dragon line. So I don't know. I've got Chasing the Dragon cigars. I don't know if they're worth anything now, since they're not, since those particular cigars are not being made anymore. So I don't know. They might be worth some money. I don't know if they are or not. But if you guys have some of those out there, you might want to hold on to them. They could be pretty valuable. So they could be. Right now I'm getting just a little bit of an uneven burn here. I'm going to touch it up. And I'm still getting a little bit of a tight draw, even though I did the or the cross cut on it. It's still a little bit of a tight draw, but it's still holding up really well, and it's still tasting very good. So, and the construction is really good. It's building up some nice ash on it again here. So anyway, good cigar overall, but just giving it a little bit of a touch up. Just singed my wrist with my lighter. Now it smells like burnt hair in here. So forgot that flame was still going. Missed a spot here. I'm gonna touch that spot up right there. Oh boy, that lit myself up on fire. That was a close call. First time I've ever done that. So anyway, boy, that hurt. Yeah, the only other thing it is, so far with this, it does seem to drop. The ash don't hold on very long. It seems like the ash kind of wants to fall off after it starts to build up. But so anyway, I've dropped 2 ashes now. But other than that, it's tasting great. Construction's great. Had to give it a touch up. It started burning kind of unevenly. So I'm going to probably take my rating from a 95 to a 92 now as well. But anyway, so for taste notes, I don't know. I'm still getting, gosh, I don't know. I'm getting some coffee a little bit maybe now. Getting some coffee, I'd definitely say. Getting still some of the sweetness in it. The sweet cedar that they described. Maybe it's some. I'm getting a little bit of a sour note to it, so that could be the candied fruit now that I'm getting. But definitely some coffee. Definitely getting some earth out of it now, and still getting the sweet wood or the candied fruit. And then it did say it had white peppers taste notes, so that could be what I'm getting when I say I got some pepper taste notes to it. So anyway, let's see here. Okay, so but yeah, so that whole thing with the tobacco or Deadwood Tobacco Company and Drew Estate, I thought that was pretty interesting to hear about. I didn't realize that the Zero and Annie and Midnight Oil, I didn't realize that all those names referred to opium, the opium drug, I guess. But the idea for those Chasing the Dragon cigars kind of came out with the old West in mind, with the old underground. Um, there was a underneath Deadwood, South Dakota. There was an underground town with a lot of Japanese people. It was either Japanese or Chinese. I can't remember which one, but this was those cigars were supposed to kind of represent the old West in Deadwood, the old Sin City, which I guess Deadwood's the original Sin City, from what I understand. But it was supposed to represent the underground stuff that was going on back in the old West days, back in the 1800s, with the Japanese or Chinese people. I can't remember which ones it was that was living underneath Deadwood, but that's where the idea for the Deadwood, or for the Chasing the Dragon line, came out. Was from the underground city or town that was underneath Deadwood, South Dakota. So pretty interesting. Anyway, so what I want to discuss today is the best of hard rock and metal bands that have blues influences. And the first band that I will mention here is Led Zeppelin. I really love Led Zeppelin. I think they're definitely a very blues based group. And Led Zeppelin originated out of London, England, in 1968, and they lasted until 1980, when John Bonham passed away from a drug overdose. So, so Led Zeppelin had the consist. Sorry, trying to get my words together here. Led Zeppelin consisted of the members of Jimmy Page. He was the lead guitarist, and he came from the Yardbirds. And then Robert Plant vocals, John Bonham, of course, drums, and then John Paul Jones, bass guitar. And Led Zeppelin's first album was in 1969 on Atlantic Records, Swan Song also, and that's this album right here, just self-titled Led Zeppelin. And this is some of the remaster CDs that I'll show you here, but here's the inside of it right there. And some of the big songs that were on this album were Good Times, Bad Times, Babe, I'm Gonna Leave You, You Shook Me, Dazed and Confused, Your Time Is Gonna Come, Black Mountainside, Communication Breakdown, I Can't Quit You Baby, How Many More Times, were all the songs on here. This book that it came with is really kind of neat. A lot of great photos of Led Zeppelin. So if you haven't picked up the remasters yet of Led Zeppelin, make sure you do that. There's a really great photo of those guys. Really nice some live shots there. And then here's some colored photos of the guys. And right there. So just a really nice little book that it comes with, and it's got the song tracking or song list on there, and who was involved in each of the songs. Anyway, so the first Led Zeppelin, really great album, very blues based, and so that's my first song my first album, and I've got the vinyls of these two. I wanted to bring them down with me, but I've got a lot to have here. I've got a lot of music here to discuss, so bringing my CDs down were a lot easier to do tonight. So, but anyway, first Led Zeppelin. There's the back of it. So anyway, Led Zeppelin 1 from 1969. And then the next one we've got is from Led Zeppelin 3. There's the back. Or I'm sorry, this is, no, I'm sorry. Hold on a second. Wrong album. Led Zeppelin 3. right there. There's the back of it. And let's see here. This is a really neat remaster as well. There's the book and just a lot of great photos again inside of it. A lot of great photos. But this is my second favorite album from Led Zeppelin, and there's the inside of it there. But anyway, some of the really great songs on this album as well is Immigrant Song, Friend Celebration Day, Since I've Been Loving You, Out on the Tiles, Gallows Pole, Tangerine, That's the Way, Brown Your Stomp, Hats Off to Roy Harper. And that is the list of the songs. And but anyway, so Led Zeppelin 3 from 1970. Another great album of Led Zeppelin. And I picked the albums I picked out today are the ones that I felt were the most blues influential albums that they had brought out. So I wish I could have brought down a lot more albums with me today. There's just so much Led Zeppelin stuff that's just great. But just a lot. It was just too much to discuss today, and so anyway, so I decided to pick out 2 or 3 albums. Some of the bands I'm listening to or mentioning only have one that I brought down, but some of these older bands I'm discussing, I brought down 3 of each of their albums to discuss. But anyway, this is Led Zeppelin 4. There's the back and the front. And this came out in 1971. And there's the inside of that. These remasters were packaged really well. Just really a lot of neat pictures and a lot of neat information. And again, I do have the vinyls to these as well. Just some different pictures here. And some of the great songs on this album was Black Dog, Rock and Roll, Stairway to Heaven. Who could forget about that song? And let's see here. Misty Mountain Hop, 4 Sticks, Going to California, When the Levee Breaks. Just a lot of great songs on here. And I've got I meant to bring it down with me, but I've got a really good concert of theirs that came out off of this. It was kind of a movie, but it was based on this album here. And I wish I could remember the name of that movie now. I want to say it's called Swan Song or something like that. But I'll have to try and remember what that movie was called and tell you what that was that they had brought out. The Immigrant Song, I think is what it was called actually, the Immigrant Song. So, but anyway, so that's my 3 Led Zeppelin records there that I really think highly of when it comes to blues. Those 3 albums are just very blues based and just those are just really great sounding albums. So if you are new to the heavy metal hard rock scene and you're wanting to listen to some of the older bands out there that I feel were the godfathers of all this, of heavy metal hard rock, Led Zeppelin's a great one. The next band I'll discuss is Black Sabbath. I was going to take a drink. What are you guys drinking today? I'm drinking this stuff called Midnight Moon. It's a holiday nog. It's moonshine and liqueur mixed together, but this is a Midnight Moon shake holiday nog. So I picked that up at my grocery store that I manage here in town. Really good stuff, and then I mixed some Fireball with it. But anyway, so cheers to you guys, and hope you guys do have a great drink tonight. So my cigar did go out on me here. I'm gonna give it a relight. Let me get this relit real quick, and then we'll move forward to some Black Sabbath. Well, anyway, so I've had to do a relight or a touch up and now a relight on this. It's been burning really well. I'm surprised it went out on me here. But like I said, it's been tasting great. The construction's been great. A lot of really great taste notes throughout the cigar, definitely. But anyway, so I'm gonna probably rate this now at a 89, I would say. 89 or 90 for the touch up and relight. We'll see if I can get this to stay now here. Definitely getting a lot of earth right now. Now that I've relit this, getting more earth and pepper. Maybe some black coffee. But anyway, tasting really good. It's definitely a full strength cigar, I'd say. Definitely, I don't know if I'd recommend this for beginners. But when I started smoking premium cigars, I didn't start with the light stuff. I started with the darker, Maduro cigars. Just because my palate likes spicy. I love really dark chocolate, and dark coffees, and I love spice, a lot of spice with my foods, and so for me to start off with a Maduro full strength cigar, it didn't make me sick or do anything to me, but if you're not into real bold coffees or spicy foods or really dark chocolates and stuff, this would not be for you. You would probably want to definitely start off with some real light, like Connecticut's or Sunshade cigars. See if I can keep this going now. So anyway, guys, next on my list is Black Sabbath, their debut album, Black Sabbath. And that was brought out in 1970 on Vertigo Records. And interesting picture. Ozzy's hair is all really, I don't know, like teased and curly or something there. And that's the only picture I've seen with him like that. So, but there's the inside of this album. There's a really great photo there of the guys. And then again, there's Ozzy with his hair all teased up, and so anyway, but this album, really great blues album, and really kind of psychedelic as well. So just a lot of blues and psychedelic type sounds throughout this. So the first song, of course, is Black Sabbath. And then The Wizard, Behind the Wall of Sleep, NIB, which stands for Nativity in Black. Evil Woman, Don't Play Your Games with Me. And then on the second side is Wicked World, which is the B-side. And then the next two songs is the Black Sabbath song, which one's a studio outtake and one's just instrumental. And then the Wizard studio outtake, and then there's the Behind the Wall of Sleep studio outtake, NIB instrumental, Evil Woman alternative version, Sleeping Village intro, Warning Part 1. So anyway, this has definitely some neat extras on it. So anyway, if you haven't picked this album up, or if you've never really listened to it very much, definitely do so. Great album, and definitely a lot of blues influences there. Next album is Black Sabbath Paranoid. There's the back of it. There's the inside. Right there. And so anyway, I never did pull out the book on the last one, but let me pull out the book on this one. So anyway, a lot of these remasters that I've got are just really neat. They got so much information and stories and pictures and just a lot of stuff that maybe you don't see normally. So anyway, but that's the inside of that book. Let me go back and get the book out of the first Black Sabbath album here. So there's the in front of the book there. There's that same picture again with Ozzy. Shows a lot of their singles there that they've brought out. There's a really great photo of the guys. When I remember Black Sabbath and Ozzy, that's one of the pictures that I really remember of is that one. That's the image that I remember of those guys. But just a lot of stories in here again, and gosh, just a lot of really rare photos. There's a Japanese photo from a Japanese advertisement. A lot of really cool stuff in here. A lot of cool stuff. So anyway, but some of the really great songs off of this album was War Pigs, Paranoid, Planet Caravan, Iron Man, Electric Funeral, Hand of Doom, Rat Salad, Fairies Wear Boots. Yeah, just so many great songs on those. Very bluesy, very psychedelic. And a band that I didn't bring down anything about today is Cream. They had a lot of blues and a lot of psychedelic sounds. Jimi Hendrix would be another one that I didn't really bring anything down of today. Just very bluesy, psychedelic. The Who that I discussed last week, a lot of blues, a lot of psychedelic type sounds throughout their music. And of course the Who and Cream and Led Zeppelin were out before Black Sabbath came out, but Black Sabbath, of course, are considered the godfathers of heavy metal. To create the whole heavy metal genre, Black Sabbath has been given credit to that. You guys tell me what you think. Is it Led Zeppelin? Is it the Who, Cream, Jimi Hendrix? Or do you consider those guys the ones that really started the whole heavy metal sound? Black Sabbath, Master of Reality. This came out in 1971. So Black Sabbath and Paranoid came out in 70. Master of Reality 71. So, and then here's the inside of the album. Pretty cool. I love that purple and black together that they did. I won't get into the book on this, but just a really cool imagery there on the inside there. Oh, what the heck? I'll take the book out. A lot of my albums I probably won't get into the books, but these Black Sabbath albums, they just really went all out. Even the Led Zeppelin remasters, the Black Sabbath remasters, they really went out a lot on just everything they added into this. Just a lot of great stuff, photos and stories and pictures of singles, the album covers off of singles they've brought out. Just a lot of interesting stuff. So when you fold that out, it has a full picture of Black Sabbath there. And then this album, this CD set, really cool what they did. with it. They put out a DVD with this that you can play on your. Let's see, was it this one, or was it Paranoid? Let's see. No, it was this on the Paranoid album. I forgot to bring up that there's a DVD in here that you can play, and it plays all the music from the CD, but it's got a lot of psychedelic imagery on the DVD while you're listening to the music. It's really cool. I wish they would have done that with the Black Sabbath Master of Reality. I thought that would have been cool too. But anyway, so some of the great songs on this one was Sweet Leaf, After Forever, Embryo, Children of the Grave, Orchid, Lord of this World, Solitude, Into the Void. So another great album. So Master of Reality, guys. If you're new to the heavy metal hard rock scene, besides Led Zeppelin, you need to really check out Black Sabbath. But these first three albums were just the greatest. This was where a lot of the psychedelic and blues really was heavy in these albums. And just these were just really great albums to pick up. I love all the extras, and I just love all the imagery and everything throughout these. Just really great albums to pick up. If you can get the deluxe box sets or deluxe editions of these, definitely do it. The Led Zeppelin deluxe editions were the ones I showed you as well. Just a lot of great extras. So, but anyway, so moving on. And I don't know if I discussed, but Black Sabbath originated in Birmingham, England, and they originated in 1968, and they went on until 2017. So, and then Tony Iommi, Ozzy Osbourne, Geezer Butler, Bill Ward were the band members with these albums I showed you. So, and all their albums came out on Vertigo Records. Next is AC/DC. I know you guys will know these albums pretty well, but AC/DC Highway to Hell. And AC/DC originated in 1973 and then lasted until 2018, and then they came back out this year and did their one show in California. But anyway, this is a very bluesy album. From AC/DC, Highway to Hell from let's see here, 1979, I want to say that this came out. Let's see here. Yeah, 1979. And there's the inside there. And some of the really great songs on this was Highway to Hell, Girls Got Rhythm, Walk All Over You, Touch Too Much, Beating Around the Bush, Shot Down in Flames, Get It Hot, If You Want Blood, You've Got It, Love Hungry Man, Night Prowler. Great album from 1979 with AC/DC. And there's the late, great Malcolm Young that passed away. Malcolm Young passed away in 2017. He was born in 1970, or I'm sorry, he was with AC/DC from 73 to 2014, died in 2017. So rest in peace, Malcolm, you're missed, definitely. And then, of course, Bon Scott, right there, he passed away as well. And he was with AC/DC from 74 to 1980. So rest in peace, Bon Scott, you're missed too. So anyway, but yeah, so Highway to Hell, great bluesy, very hard-edged bluesy album, definitely. So AC/DC Highway to Hell. There's the back of it right there. And then next we've got AC/DC Back in Black. And this is where Brian Johnson came in and took over. A very bluesy, edgy, hard rock metal album. Again, the band members at this time were Angus Young, of course, Brian Johnson, Malcolm Young, Phil Rudd, and let's see here, Cliff Williams on bass. So anyway, but another great album from AC/DC. this was a huge comeback album for AC/DC. Of course, some of the great songs on this was Hell's Bells, Shoot to Thrill, What Do You Do for Money, Honey, Giving the Dog a Bone, Let Me Put My Love Into You, Back in Black, which was a tribute to Bon Scott, You Shook Me All Night Long, Have a Drink on Me, another great tribute to Bon Scott, Shake a Leg, Rock and Roll Ain't Noise Pollution. So this came out in 1980, 1980. So, but anyway, just a really great album. And I think Bon Scott was a great choice to replace Bon Scott. But there's some great photos of AC/DC at the time right there. So, anyway, great album, guys. If you're new to the heavy metal world, and you're dabbling in the bands that you want to listen to, this is a must. Absolutely. That and Highway to Hell. And then so many albums to choose from with AC/DC that are very bluesy. Powerage was one that I wanted to bring down, but I didn't. But this, I just want to bring down the latest album AC/DC brought out. This came out in 2018, called Power Up. Really great album. And Stevie Young came in to replace Malcolm Young. Phil Rudd was on this album as well. He came back to do this album and help record it. The stuff on this album is just really, really good. Really bluesy. Kind of remind me of the old AC/DC stuff. But Realize, Rejection, Shot in the Dark, which was their big song off of this. Through the Mist of Time, Kick You When You're Down, Witch's Spell, another great song they brought out. Demon Fires, the other song they brought out. Wild Reputation, No Man's Land, Systems Down, Money Shot, and Code Red. All the great songs that are on this. So, anyway, but I had a hard time choosing which albums to bring down from AC/DC. It was hard to narrow down to 3 albums because all their albums are great. Another really great album that they got that I didn't bring down was For Those About to Rock as well. That was a really great album. Let's see, what else was there? Let There Be Rock, Dirty Deeds, and then their first album, of course. So many great ones to mention. Powerage was another one that I really liked of theirs. So many great albums of AC/DC, but I wanted to bring down those 3. I think those 3 are really important to bring up today. So, but I don't see AC/DC ever coming back with another album. I hope they do. If they do, that'd be great. I would love that. And maybe they are. They've been kind of in silence for now a while, and so it makes me wonder what they're up to. It does definitely make me wonder what AC/DC's up to. There hasn't been any news about them recording anything, but I don't know. Maybe they are. I think it'd be great if they were doing something behind the scenes right now for us. Touring, I don't know. I still have hopes that they'll tour eventually again. We'll see what happens, I guess. So, but yeah, I wanted to bring up some of the past members that AC/DC's had also. Simon Wright on drums. He was with them during the Who Made Who, and he was with AC/DC when I met him during the Blow Up Your Video tour. That he was on that album. He was on Fly on the Wall. That was another album he was on. And I think he was also, I want to say he was also on the, I'm trying to think of the other album I'm thinking that he was on. Shoot, I can't think of it. Hopefully I'll think of it. But another past member was Chris Slade. He was with Uriah Heep and The Firm, Asia. I don't know if you remember The Firm back in the 80s, but it had Paul Rodgers as on vocals, Jimmy Page and Tony Franklin in that band. So Chris Slade was the drummer at the time for the firm, and like I say, he's been with AJ Uriah Heep. He was with AC/DC when they did the Razor's Edge album, and on the album right before Power Up, I'm trying to remember the name of that album, but he came in on that album too. Uh, and I'm talking about the album that came out right before this one. Um, can't remember the name of that album right now that they brought up, but Chris Slade was on that one. I'll look that up again. I've got it. I just for some reason can't think of it right now, but I'll let you guys know what that other album was that I'm talking about that Chris Slade was on for AC/DC. And then let's see here. Of course, Phil Rudd. You know, he was with AC/DC from '75 to '83, and then from 1994 to 2015. Then he came in and did the Power Up album in 2018. Or I'm sorry, that was in 2020. I apologize. Power Up came out in 2020. So Phil Rudd came in for that. Gosh. So anyway, and then of course Axl Rose sang in place of Brian Johnson in 2016 when Brian Johnson had to leave because of some hearing issues. And then let's see here. So yeah, so right now basically Angus Young, Cliff Williams, Brian Johnson, and Stevie Young, and Matt Logg are the members of AC/DC right now. Matt Logg is he's the drummer for AC/DC right now. He played with Alice Cooper, Slash's Snake Pit as well. So anyway, so those are the AC/DC albums, and next is Aerosmith. Sorry, that's the wrong album though. I wanted to bring up Aerosmith because they're very blues based, but this is a great album of theirs right here. And this is coming out of my box set, Box of Fires. It's called, and this is Get Your Wings, which that came out in let's see here. Get Your Wings came out in 1974 on Columbia Records. But anyway, so there's that. And Same Old Song and Dance, Lord of the Thighs, Spaced, Woman of the World, SOS, Too Bad, Train Kept a Rollin', Seasons of Weather, which is probably my favorite song on here, and Pandora's Box. But just a very bluesy, hard-edged album from Aerosmith right there. And Aerosmith has been trying to tour, but they canceled dates because of Steven Tyler's voice. His lyrics, he had some trouble with that, so he had to stop singing. So they're still planning on redoing the dates that they've canceled, but nothing out yet. No new news about when they're going to tour at all. So me and my brother picked up tickets for me and him to go see him in Denver in this last month, but it didn't happen, of course. So we're still waiting to see when all the new tour dates are going to be, to see if we're going to be able to go. I hope so, for my brother's sake, because he's always wanted to see him. I've seen Aerosmith a few times and gotten to meet him once, but I just hope, for my brother's sake, that they'll go back out on tour sometime here soon. So, but Aerosmith right now for band members is Steven Tyler, Joe Perry, Tom Hamilton, Joey Kramer, Brad Whitford. But filling in for Joey Kramer right now is John Douglas on drums. He's filling in for Joey Kramer. So Joey Kramer's just his health isn't up to where it needs to be able to tour. So they hired John Douglas. And I'm not sure who he's been involved with. I couldn't find anything about him too much. So I'm not sure who he's been involved with, or if he has. So, but anyway, so hopefully Aerosmith will be back on tour eventually soon. Another great album that I love from Aerosmith is Permanent Vacation, and this came out in 1987 on Geffen Records. Great bluesy, Really bluesy album. Just a lot of great hooks and a lot of great songs on this album. Heart's Done Time, Magic Touch, Ragdoll, Samoria, Dude Looks Like a Lady, St. John, Hangman Jury, Girl Kept Coming Apart, Angel, which is a great ballad of theirs, Permanent Vacation, I'm Down, the movie, are all the songs off of this album. There's the inside of that album there. But definitely one of the best Aerosmith albums I've ever heard, besides all their 70s music. So, but anyway, so if you haven't really listened to this recently, or it's been a while, or you've never listened to it, you've got to pick this Aerosmith album up and listen to it. It's definitely one of their best works of art, if you ask me. So, and then Aerosmith Pump. This was from 1989. I got to see him in 1990 in Miami, Florida, on this tour. Joan Jett opened up for him, and I got to meet him on this tour briefly, real quick. There's the inside of that. But yeah, I was hanging out in front of the arena, kind of where they all go inside the big garage, where all the bands go inside to pull in, and we were kind of standing in that area, and two big black SUV kind of type vehicles came through, and the first one that came through rolled down their window, and there was I can't remember which guys were in each vehicle, but some of the guys from Aerosmith were in that one, shook our hands, told us thank you for coming, and told us to enjoy the show, and that, you know, pretty much told us that they really appreciated us a lot. And then the second vehicle came up, they rolled down their window, and I know the second one that came through had Steven Tyler in it and Joe Perry, and I can't remember who else was in that van, but got to shake their hands too and everything, and talked to them real quick, but that was just really awesome that they pulled up and rolled down their window and talked to us. There wasn't a huge crowd. It was just a few of us at the time, and maybe that's why they felt comfortable talking to us the way they did. So that was really cool. I'll never forget that. And then they all pulled into the garage, and when they got out, they stood there and waved at us and told us to enjoy the show again, and thank you for coming, you know, and all that they did. And then the garage doors came down. So anyway, then got to meet Joan Jett's guitarist, which is Ruby Bird. But anyway, so I was going to show you this. I got this backstage pass off of one of the crew members at the show at that time. There's my ticket, and there's a guitar pick from Tom Hamilton right there from that show. And but anyway, there's the guitar pick I got from Ruby Bird that played with Joan Jett. And so anyway, that was a really great show, and it was a dream come true getting to see them at that time. It was just, they were at their peak, I felt, of where they were successfully, and so getting to see them was great. I'll never forget, I wanted to see them. I heard the show being announced in Miami, and so of course I wanted to go get a ticket for that show. Didn't have a phone yet in my apartment, so I went into Miami. I lived in Miami Beach, but went into Miami and found their box office to go buy a ticket. They had the box office at the arena, and then they had a separate box office that was in Miami Beach, actually. I apologize. It was in Miami Beach. So I found the box office in Miami Beach, went to it, and they said I bought the very last ticket to that show. So I couldn't believe that I got the last ticket to that show. So that ticket right here was the last ticket sold that I got a hold of for that show that I got to go to. And they told me it was the last ticket. They couldn't believe I got the last ticket. But that concert sold out in like 45 minutes. So unbelievable that I was able to get the last ticket to that show. I can't believe that to this day. So, but their stage at the time on that tour it looked like a backwards hotel. And so in the back of the arena it said hotel backwards. It all lit up. And so the stage looked like they were playing on top of the hotel building is what their stage looked like. It was really, really cool. And then on the stage they had vents on the stage where steam was coming out as well. It was just really, really cool. One of the most memorable shows I'd ever seen. So anyway, any of these bands, if you've seen them or if you're fans of them or you've got these albums or whatever, or if you've got any personal experiences that you've had with these bands so far, let me know. Let me know your stories. But I've been pretty fortunate over time to meet some of the bands that I've met and see some of the groups I've seen and everything. There's a lot that I haven't met yet, haven't gotten to see, but I've been pretty fortunate who I've gotten to meet so far, I think. So the next band I want to mention is Great White, and this is called Once Bitten. And this came out in 1987, and the band that was together, the members of this band is Jack Russell, Mark Hendel, Lauren Black, let's see here, and Audie Desbro on drums. So Jack Russell, let's see here. Oh, and then Michael Lardy on. So Jack Russell lead vocals, Michael Lardy rhythm, guitar and vocals, Mark Kendall lead guitars, backing vocals, and harmonica, and keyboards as well. Lauren Black bass, backing vocals, and then Andy Desbro on drums. So anyway, this was a really, really good album. This was the first group I got to see in an arena. I had seen Stryper at the Paramount Theater in Denver, Colorado. That was actually my first concert, but for an arena show, Great White and Whitesnake were together, and that was a great show, and they opened up, of course, and I was just blown away by Great White's performance as well as Whitesnake. But the way Great White started out their show, it was just unbelievable, and I'll never forget it. But some of the songs on this album was All Over Now, Lady, Red Light, Lightning, let's see, Light Never Change, let's see here. They've got the way they've got this together, it's really hard to read. Lady Right, Gonna Get Ya, Rock Me, All Over Now, Mistreat Her, Never Change Heart, Fast Road, On the Edge, Save Your Love. That's why I was having a hard time reading all the songs. That's how it looks on the back of the cover. But anyway, there's the inside of the album there. But just a great band, and they've done some really great covers of Led Zeppelin as well. There is an album they brought out one time. I'm trying to remember the name of it, but it's got Led Zeppelin covers. If you Google Great White Led Zeppelin album on eBay or something like that, I know it comes up. So, but really great bluesy rock, hard rock album. Great White Once Bitten from 1987. Definitely pick this up if you haven't listened to it yet. I don't think you'll be disappointed at all on that. The next band has some involvement with Black Sabbath, Kiss, and Ozzy Osbourne, and that band is called Badlands. And they came out in let's see here. They came out in 1989. I'm having to relight this one more time. So anyway, this cigar is holding up very well, tasting great. I've had to relight it a couple times and do a touch up. Now I'm getting a little bit of a tight draw again on this. So that's the other thing about the cigar that I'm not being too happy about is there's some issues with the draw. It's just kind of a tight draw on it. Even with the cross cut, I was really hoping that would open up the draw more, but it still just seems like it's just got a real tight draw on it. And I'm just thinking that's probably part of the reason why it's having a hard time staying lit. It tastes great. The construction's great, like I said. Overall, been a great cigar, but with the 2 relights and the touch-up, I'm probably gonna have to rate this about an 85 now. I was really hoping my cigar rating would stay up there in the middle 90s, but it's dropped down just due to the relights and the touch-ups, or the touch-up and the relights. So, but anyway, the band I'm talking about that's had some involvement with Black Sabbath, Ozzy, Kiss is Badlands. There's the back of it. But Badlands came out in 1980, or see, this album came out in 1989. Badlands was together from 1988 to 1993. Ray Gillen ended up dying of AIDS. He shared a needle with a relative of his that had AIDS, obviously, and it was passed on to him. So he passed away due to heroin, contracting AIDS through a needle, which is very sad. Ray Gillen, lead singer for this band, had such a strong voice. He actually had some involvement with Black Sabbath. He did some. He started singing for Black Sabbath. So there's some tracks out there, but he wasn't kept in the band. I'm not sure what happened, but they went with another singer instead at the time. The album that he had some involvement on was Eternal Idol from 1987 with Black Sabbath. I want to say it was Ray Gillen that took over for Black Sabbath with vocals at that time. They went with Ray Gillen, which Ray Gillen's not any. He's not a relative to Ian Gillan that sang on here. No relation at all. Let's see here. I'm sorry, it was Ian Gillan that took over in Black Sabbath, I believe. Ray Gillen is the lead singer for Badlands here. So Badlands members were Ray Gillen, which is right here. That's Ray Gillen right there. And so we also had Jakey Lee on guitars right there. And then Eric Singer on drums. And Eric Singer went on to play in Paul Stanley's solo band from Kiss, and then ended up going on to play with Kiss on their Revenge tour. And then he's been with Kiss now for quite a while, dressed up in the cat makeup and the cat outfit for Kiss, which Kiss just retired. And then Eric Singer's also played in Paul Stanley's band also that he's had on the side that does a lot of soul home, all the home. Let's see what. Trying to think of all the old groups that Paul Stanley did with his band. The band's called Soul Station, so a lot of the old soul music, I guess, is what you'd want to call it. Motown music. But anyway, so Eric Singer's been a part of that as well. And Eric Singer's played with Lita Ford. He's been with Alice Cooper. And he's been with Black Sabbath as well in the past. And I think he was on the Eternal Idol album as well, playing drums for that. I want to say, or it might have been the album after that. I'm trying to think of the album that came out after this one, after Eternal Idol. But anyway, so yeah, Eric Singer's made his rounds, that's for sure. He's been involved with a lot of artists. But anyway, this band was just really, really good. It's too bad they had to not be. It's too bad they didn't last very long, because they sure had some great music. But High Wire, Dreams in the Dark, Jade Song, Winter's Call, Dancing on the Edge, Streets Cry Freedom, Hard Driver, Rumbling Train, Devil's Stomp, Seasons were all these were great songs on this album. Just a really great band at the time, and it's too bad. It's too bad they didn't last longer. They had some really great stuff. They had 2 other albums after this that I don't have, but this album, I just love it. Just a great album. So, Badlands from 1989. So, anyway, rest in peace, Ray Gillen. We miss you. You had such great talent, great voice, and just so much great talent that you had. It's too bad that you had to go the way you did. And a lot of the greats just, I don't know, they go and they leave behind such great stuff for us, though. But it's too bad some of these guys that have passed away in the past, Jimi Hendrix and Ray Gillen from Badlands, and just so many artists, that have passed away from drugs and doing those things, and it's just too bad. It really is. So, another great band is Bullet Boys. These 2 albums right here. This one came out. Let's see here. This one came out in 1988. I got to see these guys with Winger in 1988. Got to see them with Winger and Cinderella. So they were opening bands for Cinderella, which I'll get into Cinderella here shortly too. But great album from Bullet Boys from this time. Hard as a Rock, Smear Up In Ya, Ode to Joe, F9, Shoot the Preacher Down, Kissin' Kitty, For the Love of Money, Badlands, Hell on My Heels, Crank Me Up. Those were such great songs on this album. I can't get enough of this album. Hopefully this is going to stay lit now. And then the next album they did, which is called Freak Show. This came out in 1991. And some of the great songs on this is Hang On St. Christopher, Do Me Raw, Say Your Prayers, Rippin' Me, Thrill That Kills, Hell Yeah, THC Groove, Oh Me Oh My, Freak Show Huge, Good Girl, Talk to Your Daughter. All great songs on both of these albums. Let's see here. The members of Bullet Boys is Mark Torian, lead vocals, Mick Zveda on guitars and background vocals, Lonnie Vincent bass backing vocals, and Jimmy Oanda on drums. That was the lineup at the time of these albums. There's a great photo of the band right there on Freak Show. Great band at the time, and they're still going, but they've had some lineup changes, of course, just for a lot of reasons, I'm sure. Trying to keep this going so it doesn't go out on me here. In case you're wondering what I'm listening to in the background, I've actually got the Twisted Sister Christmas playing on YouTube in the background. Seems like the draw is opening up a little bit more now on this cigar, and it's really putting out some more great smoke again like it was in the beginning. So now it's kind of going the other way again. It's starting to open up a little bit more with the draw, getting great smoke again off of it. Getting some great ash built up on it again. So it's been kind of an inconsistent cigar for sure. I mean, it's been tasting great construction, but it's had some tight draw, then some more loose draw. And I've had to, like I said, relight it a couple times. I've had to touch it up once. But overall, it's been a great experience so far. The cigar tastes so good. I really am enjoying all the tastes on it. Still getting some coffee and not getting so much pepper anymore, but getting coffee and um, still getting a little bit of a sour note to it, which I would maybe say it's the dried fruit taste, not the taste notes on the or that I got on the internet from Cigars Daily that they discussed, or Cigar Place. I'm sorry, Cigar Place is the website I went through to get the information on this. So they talked about dried fruit taste notes, so that could be part of some of the sourness I get. But it's just kind of a zesty sour note. It's nothing terrible. It's a really good taste. Really good taste to it. But yeah, it's doing pretty well right now. Hopefully it'll keep going really well for me here. Hopefully it won't die on me anymore. So I've still got a decent amount of cigar left to smoke here. So anyway, but yeah, if you haven't checked out Bullet Boys, make sure you again check out those albums there that I showed you right there. Bullet Boys, Self-Titled, and Freak Show. So anyway, great albums. Next band I want to discuss is Kingdom Come, and I don't have any of their studio albums right now. I used to, but anyway, there's the back. But this is the 20th Century Greatest Hits. This is from that collection you can get with all kinds of different bands. But some of their albums that they had out, let's see here. Let me get the right paper. Some of the albums they had was Kingdom Come from 1988, self-titled, In Your Face, 1989, Hands of Time, 1991, and Bad Image in 1993. And they went on to make a lot of other albums too. But some of the greatest songs they had is Living Out of Touch, What Love Can Be, Get It On, Pushing Hard, Do You Like It, Who Do You Love, Gotta Go, Can't Wage a War, Overrated, I've Been Trying, Should I, You're Not Alone, or You're Not the Only I Know is the last song on here. Definitely a great bluesy rock band. Sound a lot like have a lot of the Led Zeppelin kind of sound to them, with Lenny Wolf's voice and just the way they play. Just a lot of Led Zeppelin or just a lot of resemblance to Led Zeppelin. So, anyway, there's another picture of these guys from back when, and I love this picture here that they added into this. Great photo of those guys, but such a great band, and I'm glad they've lasted for a long time. But their best albums were the first four that I mentioned, absolutely. So, and then the last band I'm discussing today is Cinderella, right there, Long Cold Winter, and that came out in 1988. And I got to see these guys on that tour. Bullet Boys and Winger opened up for them. Got to actually meet them on this tour. Just a great bunch of guys at the time. Tom Kiefer, the lead singer, he's still out touring, and he's got his own band. But this came out in 1988, if I didn't mention that. And the band members at the time was Tom Kiefer, of course, vocals, Jeff LaBar, backing vocals, guitars, and he died in 2021. He was at the age of 58. He was with Cinderella from 1985 to 2014. And then he was born on March 18th, 1963, if you want to know that. And then Eric Birmingham, bass and vocals. And then Fred Curry, drums and backing vocals for Cinderella at the time. But great album, Long Cold Winter. Very bluesy, hard-edged type of album. Bad Streamless Blues, Falling Apart at the Seams, Gypsy Road, Don't Know What You Got Till It's Gone, great ballad. The Last Mile, another great song on here. Second Wind, Long Cold Winter, If You Don't Like It, Coming Home, Fire and Ice, Take Me Back. So many great songs on this album, really great songs. And then there's a photo of them there. So anyway, if you haven't listened to this album very much, or if you haven't listened to it for a while, or haven't listened to it, you need to definitely listen to this album if you're into any blues hard rock type bands. This is a great album. And then Tom Kiefer, the lead singer for Cinderella, has always reminded me of how Janis Joplin used to sing. So I've been a big fan of him for a long time. Love his vocals, and just love his style all the way around, really. And then I had to pick this one out too. It's Heartbreak Station. This came out in 1990. And this was probably their last big album that they put out that was big. They went on to make other albums, but they weren't as successful. And after this album was over, after this tour was over, they kind of ended up doing clubs like a lot of bands had to start doing at the time. But same lineup for the band members on this album. And again, there's the front of it. I should show you that. Same guys. But anyway, The More Things Change, Love's Got Me Doing Time, Shelter Me, Heartbreak Station, Sick for the Cure, One for Rock and Roll, Dead Man's Road, Make Your Own Way, Love Gone Bad, and Winds of Change are all the songs off of this album. But the big hits they did was The More Things Change and Shelter Me. And let's see, what was the other one? Heartbreak Station, was another big song on here. So pretty great album. Not quite as good as Long Cold Winter or their very first album, which was called Night Songs, but really good album still. A lot of blues. They really went. Their first album was bluesy too, somewhat, but they really went to more blues sound with Long Cold Winter and Heartbreak Station. So, but anyway, another good album to really listen to. If you haven't had the chance to do that, do so. I think you'll be happy with it. So some great stuff there for any of you that are into bluesy hard rock type stuff, or some psychedelic type stuff as well with the blues that I'd mentioned with Led Zeppelin, Black Sabbath. Those are two great bands that are, I'd say Led Zeppelin really didn't have any psychedelic too much, a little bit, but Black Sabbath really had a lot of psychedelic sounds in with the blues in their early work. So anyway, but those are all the albums that I brought down to listen or to mention and talk about that are blues based. But I did actually mean to show this to you. I got this. I got these backstage passes off of some of the crew members from that Cinderella tour back in 1988. This was in '89 when I. 1989 when I got to see these guys. July 19th of 1989 is what my ticket shows. And there's a guitar pick from, let's see here, Eric Brittingham and Jeff LaBar are the guitar picks that I've got there. And then there's Cinderella's autographs. And then there's an autograph from Bullet Boys, from the lead singer there, that I got to meet as well. Let's see here. I want to say that this guitar pick here is from Eric Brittingham, their bass guitarist. And then Jeff LaBar. And actually, that's Tom Kiefer's guitar pick right there. I apologize. That's Tom Kiefer's guitar pick right there. And then Eric Brittingham up there on the top, and then Jeff LaBar right there in the middle. So, but anyway, that was a great show, and boy, I tell you what, I'll never forget that show. Bullet Boys was great, Winger was great, but Cinderella really put on a great show. This was probably the first tour they did where they headlined, and just a really, really great band. And it's too bad they're not around anymore. I miss them, but Tom Kiefer's doing very well. So if you ever get a chance to go see Tom Kiefer, do that. I wanted to go see him in Denver this last summer, but it was just kind of at a bad time for me to go. So that didn't happen for me, but maybe you guys will finally get to catch him down the road. Maybe I'll get a chance to see him too eventually still. So cheers, guys. But that's about all I got for you guys today. I'm glad I could be down here with you guys today a little bit. It might be a couple weeks before I'm back again. But since it is close to Christmas, I wanted to mention my buddy Striper. This is their album called Reason for the Season. And this came out in 1980. I want to say this came out in 1984. I was right, on Enigma Records. And this is the only Christmas album that's hard rock heavy metal that I own. But it was just it only had 2 songs on this album, which was Reason for the Season that they wrote, and then they redid Winter Wonderland. So, but that was on Enigma Records, like I said, and it's just got a black vinyl with Enigma Records in orange in the middle, their logo at the time. So the only Christmas hard rock heavy metal album I own is from my buddy Striper. So. But anyway, great album though. It's Winter Wonderland, Reason for the Season. Very hard edge type songs. Really, really good. Just upbeat. A lot of good riffs and a lot of good hooks, but really good songs. Really good songs. So, Striper, Reason for the Season. So, anyway, guys, I do hope that you guys have a great Christmas and a great New Year. I won't see you until next year again, sometime early next year, which is not too far away. But again, today I was, for my mom, I'm wearing the Night Before hat. I bought this for my nephew over in Sheridan, Wyoming, my brother's son. He's really into Santa Claus stuff, so I bought him that. Same hat pin and everything. So, but anyway, so this is from Boston Scally Company. If you guys have never checked out Boston Scally Company, you need to check them out. They've got so many great hats for every occasion. You guys have seen my Halloween hat. They've got Valentine's hats. They've got Thanksgiving hats. They've got hats for every occasion you can imagine. They've got it, and they're just great sturdy hats. They run about $50 a piece. If you want the hat pin, it's about another $8. But I look for coupon codes for like 25% off, 20% off, sometimes 15% off. And I look for those codes and I put those in when I'm getting ready to check out on their site, and it drops down the price a little more. So usually, most of the time, I'm getting free shipping because of the discount code. So, but yeah, so after tax and everything, it runs about around $60 for the hat and hat pins. So anyway, just want to tell all my family and friends out there thank you, and love all of you, and all of you guys that are members here at Harper Cigar Lounge. I appreciate you guys. Love all of you. You guys are always in my prayers and thoughts. And just want to say hi to my buddies over at Cigar Junkies, Corey, Jason, and Samuel. And I appreciate you guys very much. And all you guys out there that are a part of Harper Cigar Lounge, I appreciate all of you guys that have joined and that you're a part of this still. And I appreciate all of you guys. But I do hope you have a great Christmas. I hope you have a great rest of your day. And thanks for hanging out today. I hope you've had a great smoke with you today. But keep in touch. Let me know, how you're doing. And let me know what you're up to. And anyway, but God bless you guys. But anyway, keep rocking, keep smoking. And thanks again for joining me today on Harper Cigar Lounge. And I hope you've enjoyed yourself. Definitely check out all those albums I mentioned. So many great more albums out there that I didn't have down here with me that I do have, but Just too much. There's just so much great music out there. It's just endless, endless, endless. But anyway, God bless you guys. Love you. Keep rocking, keep smoking. And I will see you guys in the comments. And I'll see you guys here in a couple weeks again. Anyway, take her easy. And I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye now.